All right, let's talk about the digital rat race. Now, this video is going to be very important, even if you're a beginner or you've been in the space for quite some time. This is going to be applicable to you, right? So make sure you stay to the end because we're going to be talking about one of the biggest roadblocks to success in this industry, not just in the short term, but also long term, right? If you've been watching my channel for a while, what I'm about is sustainable long-term success, not just maybe a once-off offer or getting lucky. I'm about mastering this industry and actually getting good at navigating it so you can make the money that you want and live the lifestyle that you want to. Okay? So let's go ahead and dive in. What is the digital rat race? I didn't invent this term, I heard this somewhere, but essentially my spin on it is the digital rat race for high ticket sales is when someone takes a 9 to 5 mindset, an employee mindset, to a performance based industry. You're acting like a 9 to 5er when you're getting paid for your performance. Now, why is this so important to highlight and why is this so important to understand? When I work with beginners, when I work with people who've been in the industry for a while now, all too often, I see them treating it like a job and not like a business. There's a concept I heard recently, I've also come up with my own spin on it, which is the founder's framework. And this is what I teach all my students through. So make sure that you pay attention because I'm giving you some free game. The founder's framework simply is understanding that you need to view your career in sales through a lens of a business owner, right? Like I mentioned before, people treat this career as if things are going to be handed to them, as if they're just going to magically get the results, right? But when you understand that you need to think like a business owner, you think, you act, you behave differently. And when you assess and understand that there is only a few areas of every business that makes it successful, then you can actually systematically strategize and focus on these particular individual areas so that you can propel your success faster when you're beginning and also so that you can achieve your goals long term too. So let's dive into it. What is the founder's framework? What I mean by viewing your career through a lens as a business owner. Well, long ago, I was selling a training program that was helping people go from 9 to 5 to a business owner. And I realized that the difference between people who got results and people who didn't is people who understood how to think like a business owner, think like they are the person they want to become. What I saw with people who didn't get success was because they were acting like the person they already are, a 9 to 5 and an employee. It's simply an identity change. I talk about this in my YouTube videos a lot, which is you need to become the person, to do the thing, to have the stuff. Again, didn't invent this concept. I heard this from someone else, but this is what I've seen. You need to become the person to do the stuff, to have the thing, right? A lot of it comes back to mindset. A lot of it comes back to how you view your career. So let's take a step back for a minute and explain what I mean by the founder's framework. Like I mentioned, every business has a few different areas that attribute to making it a successful, long-lasting business. Number one, we have leadership. Every good company has good leadership, and this is what we're going to be treating as our mindset, our own personal development, how we view the world, who we are as a person. Because the reason most people hate sales and more importantly hate business is because it is a reflection of who you are. The way that you show up is what you will receive. And most people got a lot of things they need to sort out. And that's why a lot of people don't end up liking sales, right? Again, it's a mirror, it's a self-accountability experiment. You will never develop faster than anything else in personal development besides sales and business. It'll teach you more than you know about yourself than any book, any seminar, anything else can do. So that's the tippy top, right? Leadership. Every good company has good leadership, right? CEO, founders, all type of good stuff. The next thing is marketing. Every good company has good marketing, right? This is also good quality and quantity. This means enough people know them. This means brand recognition. This means all these other type of things. Every good company has good inflow of leads. And in this case and scenario, for your business, the founder's framework, aka going to be networking, because networking is going to be how you generate what? It's going to be how you generate interviews. If you can't generate interviews, you can't generate sales calls for your business, which leads me to the next thing. You will not be able to work on the business you want to work in, and you will not be able to make the money that you want to make. Okay? So that's leadership, that's marketing. Then we move on to sales, right? Most people misinterpret sales as a part of this function as being good at the skill of sales. No, right? Like I mentioned, networking is your ability to generate sales calls. So your skill of sales in this way to view your career, this lens, is your interviewing skills, right? If you can get the interviews, but you can't interview well, how do you expect to work with your dream companies? It's literally impossible. You can't do it, right? So many people think they can skip these steps. And this is very, very, very important point here. I literally just had a conversation with a gentleman who got promised the world. I had on a sales call. It was just today, actually, a couple of hours ago. He was promised the world. He got a great payment plan, and then it didn't deliver, right? Because he was guaranteed placement. Really big thing you guys want to avoid here. If you don't have the skills to generate leads yourself, generate interviews in this concept, in this perspective, if you don't know how to close them, if you don't know how to vet the offers yourself, you are solely dependent on the person you are learning from. Personally, I teach all my guys, all my students, all my clients to have the ability to self-source your own companies, to find them, to vet them, to interview them, how to get interviews with them, everything, right? So this is super, super important. You need to master interviewing skills. Without them, you will honestly really, really struggle, right? This is really important. You will struggle if you don't know how to close the client, close the deal in the first place. Plus, in the interview, you're basically showing your competence of sales skill anyway, so you really need to learn that as a whole. The final piece to this line of work, this business, is, or this way of viewing your career, is going to be performing. So how you actually sell, your delivery as a business, right? How do you actually treat your clients that you work with? Do you leave things on good terms? Do you build good relationships? Do you treat their clients as if they were your own? How do you communicate with the business owner, right? So many people, a really big mistake I see is, again, people not viewing themselves through this lens across the board, but specifically with sales skills themselves. Again, how you treat your clients, how you build relationships with your clients, how you, again, if you treat the clients you're dealing with as your own clients, as if it were your own business, you're going to go very far. But where the biggest pitfalls I see with most people is they don't work on their mindset. They believe that it's just hard grit and hard work, which is a big part of it. But a lot of this is going to be dependent on how personally developed you are as a person. I can assure you, your level of success is not going to exceed your level of personal development. It's just facts, right? So you need to constantly be working and evolving your mind, how you view yourself, and your personal development as a whole. You need to constantly be working on your personal brand. You need to be working on networking. It is not a nice to have, it is a must have, right? You have to be networking. You have to be connecting with individuals so you can build pipelines, right? Even with one of my clients who's absolutely crushing it, they're doing between 10 and 13K a month. And they thought the company they were going to work with is going to be around forever. And I said, you need to work on your personal brand. They did. And luckily that they did, because the company started to turn against them a couple of weeks ago, right? So trust me, guys, I actually have a little bit of an understanding of what I'm talking about. Again, just recapping here. Sales, right? Are you working on your interviewing skills? You can go into interviews as not the most experienced, the most skilled, but you can definitely go in the most researched and over prepared. Okay, that's going to do a lot more than you would actually realize. And then finally, of course, right, you got to be good at the skill itself, right? A lot of people misinterpret me saying that networking is really important and it's all that and no sales, right? Yes, you need to get good at sales. Yes, you need to perform. Yes, you need to develop systems so that, again, if you want business owner results, you need to act like a business owner. If you want founder results, you need to act like one. You need to behave like one, right? You need to think like one. if you come in this industry thinking hard, fast, and easy, and you're just going to be given everything for nothing, I'm afraid you'll be sadly mistaken, my friend. So that is a digital rat race. The biggest problems I've seen that you can kind of overcome them through thinking that way, through the founders framework. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully you had some good takeaways, and I'll see you guys in the next one.